Did you guys talk to my players at all?
Yes.
What did they say? I want to know what they said.
They were very excited.
We were extremely happy.
Yes.
I thought it was a well-coached game.
Did they tell you that I barked at them really hard in the second half?
No.
Oh, how quickly they forget. No, I thought that was a highly intense end-to-end game, both teams really going at each other. But when we fell behind by 7 to start the second half, we call it a timeout, and I really challenged them. I didn't think we were playing as hard as we could. I didn't think we were playing as physical as we could, and weren't rebounding as much as we could, and we were making their job easy. And then Jaquan Newton, I think, just took over the game with his defensive effort. He sent a message to everybody on the team, you got to pick it up and play a lot harder. And his defensive intensity on Quentin Snyder, who played great, by the way, not to take anything away from him, but what I believe happened is Jaquan was playing so hard, then Bruce started to play harder, and then Lonnie, who was having a great game, he started to get really active. Everybody did. I thought Sam Wardenberg came in and gave us a huge lift. He had a big block shot trailing the fast break, which he does in practice quite often, so it didn't surprise me. And we rebounded then after that and eventually won the rebound battle 49-38, which to me really made the difference in the game.
How important was this win? I know they're all important, but can you talk about this particular one coming off the NC State win, and you've been a little bit of a slump after starting, undefeated for a long time?
Well, it's kind of interesting to me that the media portrays a loss as you're in a slump, whereas coaches look at it as, okay, we might need to make some adjustments, or we don't look at the opponent and not give them credit. The opponent deserves credit when they win. But I felt like there were things we needed to do better, and a team meeting last week, I think, helped us because our players talk to each other, and that kind of communication often leads to one of two things: either guys getting mad at each other and blaming each other, or pulling together. And based on their performance these last two games, I'd say the guys really pulled together.
How much can winning games like this, the tough, granted that game, can that carry over into during the season to the upcoming games? It's not just that you're blowing people out; you're having to really work for it.
Yeah, I liked it. I'd like if we could blow people out, but it ain't going to happen. Yeah, the team is too good. But what I will say is today was our 7th straight day of basketball, and we need a day off. So we're going to give the kids tomorrow off. But when you practice Thursday, Friday, Saturday, because you're really working on the assists, which then on Sunday you get 26, and you're feeling like, okay, we've turned in a corner, but we want to keep that ball rolling. So we practice Monday and Tuesday leading up to tonight's game, and it's a heck of a battle. I'm sure our players are exhausted right now. So hopefully, tomorrow they can rest up and recover because we got to go on the road again. This will be our 5th road game in the month of January, from January, month of January.
Can you talk about Lonnie just a little more and just how he's evolving as these games are going by?
During the summer when he got injured, it was 3 months before he could really do anything on the court. And when you sit for that long, it takes you a while to get comfortable and confident again in your be sure your injury is over with, you're not being tentative, you're feeling confident. And so the non-conference was really that for him, kind of the adjustment from being injured to being healthy. And once we've started conference play, I think he's really elevated his game. And I think his game is elevated because his confidence is up. His knowledge of what we're doing and what he's expected to do, what his role is. I mean, we ran several plays for him tonight, and he just delivered. So we did that the other day at NC State. We called a play for him, and he didn't score the bucket. He hit Anthony Lawrence with an assist. It was just a beautiful pass. But that's what the play was designed to do. So he's making a lot of good decisions. And then the basket he made to tie it and put it into overtime was spectacular. That wasn't a play designed for him. That was him just taking over and going to the hole.
What was the reason that Wardenberg played so much tonight? And what did you see out of him tonight?
Sam was practicing really well in December and playing a fair amount. We went to Minnesota, and I think he lost a little bit of his confidence. We went to Hawaii, and that kind of grew. So we just said, hey, we'll shorten the rotation. We need to get Lonnie Walker more playing time anyway. So we're going to play 4 guards at times and not go with Sam. But then last week, I just said to him, look, you can really help us if you just don't turn the ball over. You can defend, you can rebound, you can make a shot, but you turn the ball over. So I said to him, I don't want to turn over the entire day. I don't care if you get an assist, you're not going to have any turnovers. So that day was Thursday. He did not have a single turnover. On Friday, he didn't have a single turnover. On Saturday, he had 1. So you go 3 days where you're not turning the ball over and you're still hustling and rebounding and doing all the other stuff. That earns you playing time. So we put him in against NC State. I don't know if you remember that. But we put him in and took him out and put him in and took him out. And I thought he did a good job. He looked like he was comfortable again. So tonight, before the game ever started, I felt comfortable. I told the coaches we're going to use Sam because Louisville's so big and he's tall enough to guard those guys.
We were going to write a story about your glowing improvement at the free throw line until the last 22 seconds.
I mean, Jaquan Newton was 8 for 8 before the last 2 free throws. 71% is better than the 50% we were shooting back in November and December.
What goes through your head when you see Lonnie? Obviously, you see how much he's improved because of the injury and just getting back into game shape. When you see him take over games like this, like what kind of goes through your head as a coach?
Well, honestly, I probably don't look at it everybody else does. I see a player with a lot of raw physical talent and some unique skills. But he's only scratching the surface of how good he can become. There are a lot of things that he can add to his game. And he's very good now, but he can add a lot of dimensions to his game. Like one of the things that he's doing now at a very high level is playing with a great deal of defensive intensity.
Like the block.
The block shot at the end, a rebound that he got in traffic, the deflections, like against NC State, he did the same thing where he knocked the ball loose and then tipped it to himself. Plays that are very, very hard to teach. Guy either has the knack for it or he doesn't. And most of the time, if you're not that athletic, you still can't do it even if you think correctly and you've got a good idea. You can't get up high enough in the air or quick enough to cover. But he showed. We moved him on to Deng Adel because I felt like Deng Adel was really getting it rolling, and Lonnie's athletic ability can match Deng's. So, yeah, he's making great progress.
With Louisville's length for DeJuan to do what he did, I know he's done well against good post players, but just what do you think of DeJuan?
I was mad at him a couple times because he didn't catch it. He let him knock the ball loose because once he catches it, I think he's got a great low post game in around the basket where he can jump hook it or dunk it or even drive it a little bit. He turned it over on the drive one time. And he was mad at himself, and he should have been, because he's very capable of putting the ball on the ground, a dribble, maybe two, and then exploding to the rim. And I want him to do that. I don't want him to be tentative. I want him to do what we're telling Lonnie to do, which is attack, be really aggressive in that area. I think I don't know what he ended up shooting. What was he?
7 for 10.
Yeah, and he probably missed his first two shots that I thought he should have made. He had an easy jump hook in the lane, missed it short, and then he missed another shot. So in my mind, he probably shouldn't have missed a shot tonight. He should have just gone 10 for 10.
Jim, can you take us through the overtime? Your team held Louisville to 0 for 5 from the floor, and it was a tight, tense, ferociously played OT.
Yeah, I thought at that point it was just going to come down to who was able to execute a little bit better. Oh, you need to make a shot, you need to make a free throw, you need to make a defensive play. And I thought our guys just kind of hung in there and stuck together and made a couple of really critical defensive plays, a couple of critical defensive rebounds. And then I can't even tell you who scored in the overtime, who got any points. We made some free throws, I know, but
Huel in the basket put you ahead.
the tip dunk?
The follow-up.
Anything specific you told the team, obviously being Duke, being that close game, and then this one again, like for a lot of young players, what do you tell them outside the X's and O's to just kind of?
You know, one of the things about the Duke game, and this is, we weren't in a slump back then. They made some great plays. Wendell Carter blocked 3 shots just like Mahmoud did tonight. And then Gary Trent Jr. made some great 3-pointers. He had his career high, 30 points. So sometimes you just got to give credit to the opponent. I would like to think that NC State would give us credit for the way we played at NC State. And I hope not only our players, our fans, and even Louisville say, hey, you know, Miami's pretty good. They really rose to the occasion when they fell behind by 7. They fought their way back. Good competitive game.
Jim, how about Jaquan? You talked about him at the outset. Can you expand on him? And he's your one veteran, your senior. You've always talked about seniors. How important is it heading into the meat of league play that Jaquan elevate?
I've told my players repeatedly that the most difficult job I have once the game begins is figuring out who should be out there. Because Jaquan, Bruce, Lonnie, Amp, and Dewan are a good combination, but on Sunday we needed Booker out there because he was playing great. Chris Lakes, he has his moments where he's just lighting it up, and DJ Vasiljevic is capable of doing that. And now we've got Sam Wardenberg who's helped us. Finding the right combination of players is huge. And so there are times when Jaquan probably would like to be out there more, but I've told him, hey, listen, I got to get Chris in there too because he presents an entirely different dimension. And I think in the last, 2 or 3 weeks, I think he's kind of understood that we need our bench to help us. We can't just do it with our starting 5.
Jim, in terms of just even, Lonnie brought this up, the ability to close and just the confidence they're going to get from that. He said we haven't been a great closing team. How much do you think this helps them now moving forward in that regard? Yeah, that's
one of Lonnie. I got to help him with that. He's way too honest. I think kids live right in the present. So, the last couple of games, Duke, okay, maybe we didn't finish great against Duke, but now we've 2 games in a row where we're in a dogfight right up until the last possession. So I think we've done a good job. You got to make your free throws, and you got to get your defensive stops and rebounds. So I feel good about where we are. But I also look at our opponents, and I think they're darn good too. We play at Florida State. What's their record at home in their last 30 games?
I think they lost one.
Yeah, like 29-1. You know, so it's not like, okay, we're playing good, so we'll go to the next game and we'll play good and win. No, it's two teams that are both very good battling. We're kind of on the borderline of top 25 right now, and they've been in and out of the top 25 themselves. Florida State, and they just won tonight. Oh.
What's the challenge of that with Florida State, a team you've already played, already beaten, so they're going to be hungry for that. How does that come into play?
Well, the one thing is the teams in the league are very similar right now. Like, if you compare Louisville to Florida State, they got the big guy inside, Kumaji's blocking shots. They've got the great guard play, Terrence Mann, who drives it to the bat. He's like a Dang Adele. They're very, very similar. And that's why these games, they're a little different than us. But even like NC State, their big guy, Omer Yurtseven, is a little different, but he scored, what do you have, 28 points against us? I mean, everybody's got good players.
Let's get one more question, please.
Can I just ask about Ibuka? Oh, sorry.
Go ahead.
Go ahead.
Ibuka, the last game, had a big game, 7 for 7, 15 points, and then tonight wasn't as big of a factor. Can you just talk about where do you see him fitting in with your team?
Well, he and Dewan split the 5 position. They rarely play together, although when they're both playing well, I can play them together against certain teams. But for the most part, you know, if you look at the numbers, Dewan Yu played 35 minutes and Buka played 10. Well, Dewan was probably playing well enough that I didn't want to take him out. Because if I take him out and he gets cold and is out of the rhythm of the game, then maybe he doesn't perform quite as well.
You think about the Louisville team, I mean, they had that big loss to Kentucky, but then they won like 4 in a row when they came in here.
Yeah, no, they're good. Where were they picked in the preseason polls? I mean, they were top 10 probably, top 15. Thank you, everybody.